Hi everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk About It with Kelly. This is season 2. This is my husband John. He's the trichologist at our clinic, Freedom Clinic, Toronto. Today's topic is, it's not all in your head. The first question that we have is, when hair loss treatments get told it's all in your head, what does that mean?
Hair loss patients
Yes.
get told it's all in your head. What does that mean? It means that they're being dismissed for probably early signs of an actual real problem. It means the person who's telling them, oh, you're not losing your hair, it's all in your head, or you're not losing your hair, it's all in your head. It means that the person looking at them is not taking them seriously, and they're not doing a proper evaluation or examination.
What are some types of hair loss that are frequently dismissed and overlooked? Like, what types of hair loss would that be that somebody would say, listen, this is in your head?
Well, I guess any type of hair loss could be like that, but probably the most common would be telogen effluvium. And the reason is because when we see telogen effluvium, we see telogen effluvium as shedding. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's just increased shedding. We don't see a difference in the part, or we generally don't get thinning on the top. If it's chronic, going on for a long time, then we start to see thinning ends and things like that, but the hair is growing back normally on the top of the head. So a person will look at it, the doctor will come in, oh yeah, there's nothing wrong, right? So they're
Menopause.
Not looking closing. Yeah, it's just menopause. Well, I mean, okay, fine, it's menopause, but it's hair loss. Like I'm having hair loss. I need to fix my hair loss.
Right.
No, don't worry about it. It's normal.
Wow.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, I know it does.
Mm-hmm.
Why do so many patients feel like they aren't being taken seriously when they're first seeking help for hair loss?
So that's it. It's because, especially in early stages, it's not that, may not be that advanced. You, as the person with the hair and the hair loss, are going to know this is more shedding than I'm used to. My hair is not as thick as it used to be. My part's a little wider than it used to be. The ends of my hair are thinner than they used to be. My hair's not as long as it used to be.
Could be scalp too.
My scalp, my scalp feels different than it used to. This isn't right. This isn't normal. Something's changed. So before anybody else does. And unless you do a very in-depth analysis with, microscopes, pull testing and that sort of thing, you don't see the signs. Okay, so the signs may not be that obvious at first. But if a patient comes into me and says, I've got hair loss, I'm not just going to go like that and say, oh, no, you don't. It's in your head. I'm going to do a thorough examination. I'm going to run blood tests. I'm going to look for signs that there is hair loss, and we'll find them.
Yeah, I find that the most dismissing thing ever. It's in your head.
No, it's crazy.
I don't like that.
No.
Not for 1 second.
No, nobody does.
Okay, can you share a case where patients were told nothing was wrong, but you eventually found a significant underlying cause?
So this happens all the time. So I'm thinking specifically now of a case where a person came in. They had some scalp irritation and pain. When you looked at their scalp, you could see the redness on top. The person got diagnosed scalp seborrheic dermatitis. Okay, because that often looks like that. It's a little red. Maybe it's a little bit of flaking involved.
No hair loss.
There might have been a tiny bit, but it wasn't really that noticeable, and you certainly wouldn't notice it with a glance. Okay, so the person comes in to see me because they feel something's wrong. I look through the scalp, and yeah, it's red pretty much all over, but more so, right in the top here. It's all red. Lots of big arborizing blood vessels, and you can just see, capillaries all over. There's scaling all over. So I do the exam, and there isn't a lot of hair loss. okay? But there's these really early signs of scarring alopecia we see. The inflammation, and then what happens is we'll often get follicle units turning into single hairs, so they end up being what we call lonely hairs. So a follicle unit usually has anywhere from, 2 to 4 or even 5 hairs sometimes, depends on the density. But we'll see a bunch of little single hairs with no little vellus hairs around them, no partner hairs, okay? And it might not be that thin because the person had really thick hair to begin with. And then we'll start to see a specific type of scaling, perifollicular scaling around the follicle. And we'll start to see some color changes in the scalp. And these are early signs of scarring. So sometimes they're so subtle that you're not sure. So what you have to do is you have to do a biopsy to determine, at an early stage to confirm that this is actually what's happening.
Okay, thanks, John. Can you share a case where a patient was told nothing was wrong, but you eventually found significant underlying issues?
Sure. Okay.
Or cause?
So I had a case where a person came in who had felt that their hair was thinning, had lots of redness in the top of the scalp, saw a dermatologist, and was diagnosed with seborrheic dermatitis and given some steroid lotion and suggested to use a shampoo and dismissed. Didn't really respond to the hair loss concerns of this patient. So the person, was convinced that they're losing their hair. So she came to see me. I did my analysis, and what I found was that, yes, there was a lot of redness in the crown area of the scalp, but under the microscope, we could see that there were follicular units that were getting smaller, meaning a follicular unit usually has 2, 3, 4 hairs in it. So there was a few follicular units that were just single hairs, okay? And yes, surrounded by a lot of inflammation. And now around these single hairs was a specific type of perifollicular scaling we get. They look like these concentric rings. And around singular hairs. So this is a clear sign of scarring, okay? Early sign, you get a little bit of thinning because of these missing hairs around the units, but the hair's not completely patchy yet. There's just a little bit of early thinning. So we did end up getting a biopsy on this person and confirming the lichen planopilaris diagnosis. So it's actually very common for this to happen, where people will get, will have very early stage hair loss. It'll get misdiagnosed as androgenetic alopecia or not at all, as seborrheic dermatitis if there's, inflammation involved and itchiness and maybe burning sensations in the scalp. And so the lichen planopilaris diagnosis gets missed very commonly.
So they knew they were losing their hair, but
They
the
knew.
doctor said it was seborrheic dermatitis.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the most surprising diagnosis you've discovered in a patient who initially presented it with hair loss?
So the first time this happened to me, and I'm not sure why I knew, but I knew. So a young woman came in with a patch of hair loss in the scalp, okay, right in the middle. It was very strange looking. It looked like a scar, a pussy scar kind of thing. There was no hair in the middle, and then around the edges there was this inflammation and scaling and weird discolorations. And it just looked like something really unusual. And I just asked the person, is there a history of lupus in your family? And she said, yeah, my mom had it.
Wow.
So I explained to them that, type of lupus that causes hair loss doesn't always, become full-blown systemic lupus. It can, but it doesn't always. But that you do need to get to a dermatologist right away and get started on the correct dermatology treatments for this. So it was surprising to me because this was the first time I had seen lupus affect the scalp this way. So lupus can start by causing hair loss in the scalp.
Wow. Okay, great. Thanks, John.